Hi, good morning. I just come to make this vlog. You know, when I noticing, things are observing. Uh, when you think things is just about forget better. You see people come and try ruin what you have going on. You know, I finally like for the people them to understand. I finally had gotten access or gotten something released that was very helpful to me now. But no, something is like, no, I'm making a trade off with something like where I still have to take the good and the bad. Nothing bad came with this. Somebody done something to basically rob me, right? Send folks to come rob me. And now I dealing with that. Not only that, that's not even the biggest problem. The robbery. The fact that not only my stuff got stolen, but the fact that certain things I'm dealing with right now that's out of control. I don't have any any assets. I haven't accumulated any assets or anything. And I just been dragged into this crazy ass life. It's just unfair. I feel unfair being labeled as black. I just feel unfair. I don't really label or consider myself black. I don't want to speak in in no demeanor as in what would be considered black or in the islands. I would more consider myself Creole or how I speak. Right, I speak Creole. Right, I always get discriminated for it. But that's the least. That's soft to me. That's soft to me. You're just discriminating against me for having a higher intellect than you naturally. I don't ever get that because you speak a more watered down, broken language, a derogatory language that backwash. You know, we don't have much expression in it. You don't have nothing to it. It's barely even a language, and you're prideful. You're taking pride in that. You should. It don't make no sense to me. So I don't take no loss to that. It's just the other factors will make that even have to be inflated, like where I have to acknowledge it, like on every angle, everything you'll try to discriminate me on, and then we supposed to sit down here and complain as if the white man is our problem or the Chinese man is our problem or when it's always been people that look like him there. Well, they don't look where I come in to see. You know, they don't really look. We don't really all look the same. We don't even have the same shade of skin complexion. Are we being labeled as we group together just because we basically in the same ballpark, right? But we don't have no relations, no nothing. And you more than I, more so they stigmatized to that, where you will go and do all sort of treacherous, sneaky stuff, and you just won't stop. You won't stop, you know. So I just it just hurt. It just sting me. I have to come out and say it. It was embarrassing and humiliating. Oh, especially being cast into this label as being black whenever it suits society, right? Say, so my family done me the way they had done me. You know, and I know our YouTube is basically in the next decade or so, it's going to be on like an archive where people can go back to and watch stuff what was posted years ago. So that's why I even make these videos or make these vlogs or even on my old page. You know, I wanted to leave some evidence that, you know, of what I go through. Cause I know how with black people being controlled, everything going to be fickle. They'll never hear the truth about whatever I went through. The only person you'll hear the truth from is only me and probably my aunts. My aunts them, it might be inconsistent because they're very senile and they come from a different culture where I very much understand they don't have that. They come from a different culture and a different era where traditional women was more appealing than what we have today with the adversity of the with women and their opinions. You know, God, nowadays women opinions tend to be very malicious, very degrading to men, you know, and is always to obscure our rights to for their feelings, right? And they collectively do this, justify when they do wrongs, you know, regardless of how they don't question, they don't investigate, they don't do nothing. It's just we just wrong or we just interpret taking things out of context. This is what I always been told, you know. You know, it's just too much for me sometimes. You know, even with people like to misjudge on purpose because they want to be hurtful. They want to tear you down. They want to demotivate you. And they feel like they're getting something out of it. And this is inherently a black people trait. This is how they always go for you. They go for the throat. You know, with racism, it's always some kind of childish, immature way to look at something. Like especially when it comes to us, right? Colored folks. It's nothing that is really too mean and ill-spirited where it will suck the life out of somebody. Oh, you don't like me because me is of a darker complexion. I can live with that. I could have lived in a world where there's a group of people who don't like me because I would not take that to offense. You know, it's up to them what they want to use me. That's from sheer ignorance, right? But when somebody is deliberately being ignorant versus somebody who just don't know or just, you know, there's some kind of misunderstanding, is more dangerous with the one than the one where don't know, simply just ignorant is just ignorant. You know, you can communicate to them and inform them. But somebody who is deliberately being ignorant based upon prejudice, like deliberately to say it will put you at a great disadvantage. So they will even go to us, they will and be spiteful. You know, be spiteful to even jeopardize them own self just to jeopardize you. You know, that's the worst. That's the worst kind of ignorance I ever come across. And that's the only kind of ignorance, because you can't blame that person for just not knowing or being misinformed. But somebody who purposely misinform themselves and delude themselves so they can put you at a great disadvantage, right? And it's not with black people, they collectively do this. They collectively do this. And you know, it kind of too much. It kind of too much. You feel like you're living in a reality where, you know, you don't want to live anymore. You don't want to live. it's like you can't escape, cause I just live on this island, like, you know, and nobody not really want, you can't really trust nobody to fuck with you, cause even if somebody, if they come with the impression so they go fuck with you, and you don't even know where they come from or nothing like that, you know what, yeah, say you like, you know, this person probably go try kill me off. That's the only thing you can come to a conclusion. Cause them people here don't have the nature to want any form of prosperity and to wish for any kind of prosperity onto anyone else. You know, I don't think, I think you have to be coming from another culture for that understanding or that kind of mutual, you know, kind of cultural understanding to be present. You know, you see somebody and you just want nothing but prosperity for them as a human being, you know. No, that is lost to us. You know, 'cause when I grew up, I thought that was it, right? I was, I grew up on Western media. I grew up on Western films, animation, and books. I used to grow up on Hardy Boy. What the other book name? Nancy Drew. Um, those are just general books. I'm not even gone in depth. I used to read encyclopedias, stuff like that, as in for films now or documentaries. Used to watch, you know, a lot of stuff. These stuff inspired me to have been taken the path blindly as I did, that I had taken, right? Without really going back and thinking to myself, does this make any sense in my circumstance to have these kind of belief systems or understanding or have these kind of mannerisms in the environment I'm in, even though, you know, it seems cool to me? Can it work? Can it be transition? I never really question myself like that, you know, cause I just wanted to be in some, I just felt like, you know, it's maybe me, I just need to fix my attitude. And when I seen say everybody have an attitude problem, so how is it me? How everybody keep on prosecuting me when them have them dirty ways, and why they keep on marginalizing something so insignificant? Cause it seems that y'all doing something under scenes where I as a child don't really understand, you know, and they're not giving me the understanding or making it seems like on is angel when they're really doing something really creepy creepy. Cause they always would bring these kind of dangerous, put me in kind of dangerous situation, and then whenever I stand up for myself, I get the shit in the stick same way. I never yet get rewarded. If it's not true, God some way, God would reward me some way. You know, I have to give him that kind of, you know, gratitude or respect for that, car I couldn't have gotten anything, you know, whether, you know, car I could have sit down and had not gotten anything, but you know, how the universe works. You know, even if you're something, if you do great things must come back onto you, you know. I wasn't focusing my intentions on what I'm supposed to focus my intentions on. You know, I just thought things would have gotten better. I didn't know where to go or what I really wanted in life. I just wanted anything I could have run with, you know, because they were taking away a lot from me, you know. So I would settle with being anything that is not, that is going to make me comfortable, right? Even one time, I took up farming and stuff like that and agriculture, and I realized I wasn't really cut off for them kind of. I maybe can do it, but it was satisfying enough to what I needed to stand up and, it was like, cause we in modern day time and how things moving so fast, it never make any sense anymore, especially with the circumstance that I was in. Never make any sense. So, I try move on and I try move on. I was basically trying to rush to get things together and things just kept falling apart till, pieces roll off and can't find certain pieces and, God me here today though, and I'm just saying that randomly to, self-delude, you know, I don't know how am I here today. When I look back at it, none really make any sense. So it must be somewhere God trying to bring me. I don't know. I was born without no parents. Being adult, mama see how much that is a very that how much of a deficit I was really in. Seeing it from outside now, looking in, 'cause I was just in there as a child in a box, and the impression everybody gave me when I was from, I never really even mind not having parents, you know, I never mind at the time. I didn't want to deal with the emotional issues, I never want to handle it or deal with it. I just wanted, it just was said, it's beyond me. I cannot do anything about their life being not, they not being present in my life. No, I just have to keep on moving. And that's how I kept it. And I keep on when people try to question me about it when I was very young. I tell them, say, it was basically beyond my comprehension. 'Cause at one point of time, I never understood what was a mother and father, what roles anybody was. I just come here, I just see I'm at a place and people there. People is just there. I just grow up and see people. And I call them whatever, with a grandma. I used to call my grandfather, dad. I never know why that until I understood it was a cultural thing. And I call whatever name, whatever, I announce them by. So that's what it was to me. I never even understood the significance of of the meanings of this word, like sentimental meaning. 'Cause I never hold no sentiment for any of these words for these people. 'Cause these people never really show me no love. And it just felt like I just been chopped. So when I call my grandmother grandma, not 'cause I call her grandma 'cause I uphold her to a standard of a grandparent or whatever. No, that's just the only thing I knew what to call her by. Matter of fact, at the age of 15, I start call her Frederica. I call her by her name. 'Cause I and her I just dissociate with all of my families because of how mistreated, how I felt like a hostage. Be a weird things. My grandmother used to force me to sleep in her room all the time, and anytime I never do it, it's like almost to the extreme where she would want to threaten me, where I always find it weird. Weird like, you want a 15-year-old boy, 15-year-old teenager to be sleeping in your room. Like, yo, and then I was maturing or puberty already had hit me and making me mature faster. You know, I wanted my own privacy and stuff like that. And you know, there is always a problem with privacy, them invading my space and this and that. You know, I don't want the pressure that I was under was tremendous. 'Cause I don't even get any room to think. That always was bombarding me with stuff. You know, you know, they was always bombarding me with stuff. I would take away myself and try um stay a place where nobody was, find a place where nobody was, and I would listen to my music or think to myself and stuff, try do stuff that would make me happy or motivate myself. I don't know what I was going to do after school, but I sure know say, 'cause I don't feel like the school was going to take me into sixth form. I don't know how the world was. Nobody was really showing me what the world was or not like that. But I went out there. I went to sixth form at somewhere else, Maths Unlimited. I went out there and gave it a hell of a shot. And then my family withdrew after I passed some of my subjects. Them, my family withdrew me from continuing my education, and that's all I knew. That's all I was building myself for. I was, you see me, all of those stuff that I acquire now is all conducive to them withdrawing that from me and forcing me to go there and pick up these other skills now where I need to acquire. 'Cause I was only focusing on school. I wasn't doing like, 'cause that wasn't what I was that's what I wasn't privy. I wasn't privy to that, much less. 'Cause there was always a problem when I'm out. There's always was a problem when I'm out. I've never had the normal life. Others was treated like a hostage. Even now, as a 25-year-old man, I'm still treated like a hostage, and it has extended. It's become so dangerous. It has extended to the facets of the injustice system that we have here in my island, right? The way they're having me like a hostage situation type thing. And it's becoming too extreme where, it's just like my life is constantly in danger and I don't know where it's coming from. I don't definitively know where it's coming from. And all people want to do is mislead me because they don't want me to be able to accumulate any form of wealth. They don't want me to be stable at all because they feel like, say, the moment I become stable, I just go and take on my regular attitude. And the only reason why I'm going on like this, which is true, because who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? It's just wise. Because if people, anybody was to go through this and survive, then the natural thing is not to deal with the same people who put you in this situation in the first place. God, they don't show no remorse. They don't show no guilt, no sympathy, not the only thing is that they fear the consequence if they know that it's going to be harsh, a harsh penalty when it comes. That's all they want to avoid, and they'll do anything to avoid that. But they'll continue, they'll all sacrifice avoiding that to ensure, say, me stay where I am just I not even go use the word victim. Cause man like, oh, these things just disempower me, make me feel disempowered. Like I see I can do it. I witness this so many times, and I've shocked my own self that I can do it. You know, I just never had a proper support system. And it's not even have to do with support system. It's somebody, there's a group of people out there that's trying to sabotage you. That's trying to sabotage you in a malignant way. In a malignant way. Where it's not like no racism where, oh, this man don't want to hire you because he's some different color, you speak sound different, or you don't speak the same language or something. You see me? It's not that. It's something personal with these type of people. They're making it that you don't know them and they don't know you, but they're making it personal. You know, they're making it more than personal. You see me? Where they might try to take the piss. You see me, so I just come. This is what I'm going to explain now. I really and truly, I just come. I made this blog to vent, to decompress, because that's the only thing I have left. You know, that's the only thing I have left. It's been a very long time. You know, I didn't, growing up, I never had nowhere to decompress or vent, or I had to be very hush hush. I couldn't make people know what I think. And when I did, cause when it became too much, and them I do them style and all them tyranny, like them is Adolf Hitler and all them stuff there. Regardless of what people believe, so I wasn't in any form of distress, or people not saying they look like me. Well, of the same this diaspora, right? Where I in a situation trying to seek out help, and people just to insult me or belittle what I going through. You know, because of how I look or what attention I get or whatever outside, because you can't really talk to them women anyways. You know, they give you attention, but as moment you tell them what you're going through, they, you know, they they lost that same interest or spark. And even ones we do, yeah, I fear them more than the ones we don't. Cause I don't even know, cause the times, multiple times, and I reach out to these women, and you know they don't share the same. You know, I know it's like we're at the point where I'm humiliated or embarrassed so much, been emasculated so much. No woman want give me any attention anymore. But I don't really care. I don't really care. If it's that's the way, I don't really care. I just want to find refuge somewhere else, to be honest. I don't know how what confessing that online, you know, because that's I don't know. It seems like I am not a criminal. I don't involve in anything. I barely even know how to even steal anything. I grew up Catholic, right? I grew up Catholic. I think my family only was using this Catholic to abuse me, really and truly. You know, I really think they only was doing that. Cause they never act like no Catholic or do any Catholic thing. It's just me. It's just me. Not even the little children them they impose any of these things on. It's just me. It's just me. I have to pray every night before I go to my bed, or them would have beat me. And you know, crazy stuff like that, you know. It's not even crazy. I just saying like they're so sadistic or whatever. You know, they don't even know that then they're not really harming you. Like, you know, I don't even know how to describe it, because prayer is good. You see me? So that's why I always thought at one point of time was discipline. But I see him say they're just making me do all the stuff they don't want to do. That's literally what they're doing. They're beating me and abusing me for tempt me not, cause they know say these stuff frustrate them and they don't want to do it. So they think that this would be the same way for me. It would have make things easier for them for want to beat me, want to get away for something and subject me as if is right, is justified, or I do have done something wrong, or I am a mistake, right? When it's really and truly, it's just some nefarious reason behind it. Cause I never really interested in. They're not even when I asked my grandmother, "What are we, Grandma? Are we Christians, or are we Catholic, or are we Jews?" Cause you tell me, say, our grandfather, my grandfather, you told me your husband, which is would be my grandfather, is a Jew. So what are we? She said we is Worldlian. I mean, so what is Worldlian? People who give themselves to the world. I say, what? You know, so I don't know, cause nothing what they've taught me made any sense. And anytime they told me something like this, I just put it aside. I never bought into it, cause I just thought maybe these people don't really like me. So I shouldn't really take up what them say to heart. You know, cause I already had experienced some form of what would I say? You know, acceptance from my aunties, as I had mentioned earlier. So, you know, I had experienced some form of acceptance from them. So, you know, it never really hurt me too much. This old, ugly, old, bitter woman don't like me. Never really upset me. What it upset me is the weird kind of, if you just never like me, don't like me. Why you don't like me and want me constantly be around you and you do have me like some hostage and don't want me leave, don't want me this. You keep on, you know, all sort of weird stuff with my grandmother, and my mother used to put it out now because she passed away, you know, and you know it's been good. It's been since she passed away, I have gotten so much freedom. I have gotten so much freedom. I have gotten so much freedom. You know, when I was very young, I used to use my grandmother as a shield and run to her and complain, say they are abusing me or they hitting me very hard and stuff like that. And it never worked. It never worked. And I seen that all this time she has been the problem. She has been the problem, you know. Cause when my aunties come, I reconnected with my aunties. They all told me conglomerates of stories of many times people had come to try and take me away from her, and you know she threatened these people, she run these people, she do all these stuff to keep me. Look on the lifestyle, look on the conditions I live in under now. This make any sense? A person like me to be talking to you right now, and the people that was keeping me away from being in a good, healthy home. You know, it didn't even have to be good. You know, it does have to be enough that where I could have come now. And I promise you, I would have took the opportunity and the advantage for and make something of myself. And I'm telling you, 100% of the time, it would have been like, you know, some up there, something up there, but it would have, you know, I would be an honest man and make my honest living. That's all I ever wanted. from I was a child, I was never plotting to be no mafia done or nothing. I never even know those things until I come of pre-adolescence. You know, I never really fascinated with violence or none of that when I was young. To that effect, you know, I never liked violent movies or see blood or nothing like that. Like I told you, I grew up Catholic. I went to a Catholic school. And all they were on is Hail Mary, Hail Mary, Hail Mary. You see me? So I never really got the significance of it when I was young. I used to make mockery of that in the back of my head and stuff like that. Like, you know, I never understood why worshiping Mary when I thought it was Jesus. The thing I thought that was like some kind of something to scrutinize. You know, I never get where these elements were introduced into us, like, you know, and even it became like somewhat of a plantation. But you know, I think that was like me going to prep school and you have an entitled mindset, and people who go private school or prep school, I get have a natural higher aptitude of think or problem solving, or you know, they would like to solve the problems to intellect, right? When I get introduced to public school, I see at first I still was caught up about how my social reputation and other stuff in prep school, but it's, it's like two different evils, but you know, it's hard to tell which one was worse. 'Cause I don't know. It was very rough at prep school, but you know, I managed. I definitely could have managed. I was managing that. I was like, you know, it was nothing to me. It was easy. I got out on an 81% average, and that's like just because the fact that a teacher fucked me over, you know, and she was trying hard to fuck me over. Cause she had tried milk my grandparents have money, but with my high school, no high school, public school, uh, I think I should have just. I wish I had picked or selected a different school, a better school as my school of choice. You know, I just wanted to avoid all the boys' schools, all boys' schools. I thought all boys' schools would be have a whole heap of um homosexual tendencies, right? As a 12-year-old boy, I just never want to go to any school where I constantly seeing a lot of males. That to me never sit comfortable. I just needed those years to have a like high school would have been the years to, you know, finally figure out how to really socialize with the opposite gender, right? So I didn't want to miss out on that, really, you know. I know there would be other avenues, but I know my circumstance and how my family did stay. So I just went to one prominent and close. Well, it hadn't been prominent for a while, but you know, one close school that I live near that was close, you know, closer. to where I lived and anyways, and it was considerably a decent school. But after the stuff I experienced and witnessed, it has it has fallen off from the years of where it was at one point. I just, but it's public school. It was just very rough. And my family made it I would have managed public school if it was not for my family. I would have gone through public school, but they made it because they were trying to sabotage me. They went out their way to do stuff. And certain stuff I never really understand myself what was going on. You know. I really and truly I want to leave all these things in the past and I want to forget about these things. I want to move on. I just want It's why I just want to change where I am, change everything. I don't really feel like, all this unity. I know this black unity thing. I think it's nothing but a scam or any type of uniting with people just of the same color. Because if families in our ethnic group or whatever you say we want to call it, doing these things inherently to each other, then how anything going to work? You don't have no back it. Literally, you don't have nothing to fall back on. You just trusting a bunch of random stranger with probably with the same mind frame of people who you coming from. Or even worse. Hell, if it's worse. You know, it's the scariest thing to be in a situation, a dangerous situation, or even there's a tough between a rock in between a hard space, yeah, and don't know what to do, don't have any options, or don't know your options. It's very scary. It just leave your mind constantly to worry. When even especially when you lack so much. Certain people would go out and drink, certain people would go out and you know, I can't even afford to do that. That's how bad it is for me. You know, I don't do certain things. Cause I just grow up like a Catholic, so I just grow up with class, or I rather try to mentally attack it first than to go out and do something drastic and then pay for the consequences. Cause I not even do anything and I feel like I'm being punished now. So why would I go and do something to be actually punished when I can't even bear the responsibilities of burdens people putting on me? It don't make any sense. It don't make any sense. You know, I rather go out there and make a honest living than burden myself with some worse. I'm just incapable of doing that. That's just me. That more freaks me out or have me more skeptical than anything. You know, 'Cause I don't like when people discriminate against me. So I'm not going to do things for people discriminate against me. I'm not going to steal if I know say they're going to automatically associate me with stealing. I'm not going I'm not going to try harm anybody or be on the offensive, if I know they're going to preemptively make it seem as if it's me instigate or started something or I'm violent, you know, I'm going to do those stuff. Cause it's not going to be in my favor if they catch me with it, you know. It's not going to be in my favor if they catch me with it. Cause they're just going to get me locked up. They're not going to look and say, oh, he's suffering or he emotionally suffering or, you know, he had it hard or rough or nothing like that. They're not going to say, they don't give a fuck. One time them have excuses, it's for them when wicked happening to you. Not when you doing wicked or you acting out. Because majority time, when wicked being done to you, what I notice, there is not for any reason whatsoever. Not because they're broken or anything, or, you know, more than them just psychopaths and sociopaths that, you know, you come into others came into this world like lamb, you know, lamb to them. You see me? And I'm faulted for being naive or whatever. I never have no parents, you know, and people don't know how much of a devastation that is to you. That could be to anyone. Because if you don't have anybody, any form of security or anything like that, you're equivalent to being dead if you is a black man. You're equivalent to being dead. It's better you just go. That's all I see society say. Go off and just find a corner and just curl up and just die. Because we just don't want you here. We don't, it's not say, you know, it's not say anything. That's literally what them saying. What they saying don't even make any sense. It's not say anything, you know. It's just that we don't want to hear. You see me? And, you know, nothing, they don't have no valid reasoning. You know, I don't even know if it's a sure say, if it's on the premises say, it's because whatever my background, because if you look at my background, I never grew up with anything, I grew up abused. So to me, it feels hurtful say people can still be so spiteful. Cause it could be the case that, all right, I come from wealth and then I fucked up. And then I end up there so with Uno. And I take the shit out of me. When I used to be thinking a way or a manner. But it's not like that. And they still hold this intent or this malice for me. You know, so then where we can draw the line to stop merging what is, you know, what is human mistake or whatever, what is just pure cynical evil, you know, because jealousy, greed, all these things that you cannot do, and all these cardinal things that they claim say you cannot do, you know, you know, these things where I see people all out here is even much more uglier than that. Because, I think all these things where they're talking about cardinal sin, because all these things where they might try indoctrinate people, because you need to be greedy. You need to love money, to keep money. You need to make money navigate, keep money flowing. You need to keep on thinking about money. That's a thing that I come to understand. You have to love money. And what they had taught me growing up, hard for try something, all no more is hustling. They try to teach me how to not like money. You know, so money can stay out of my hand. You know, is a responsibility you have to take for ensure say you have your security, because security is vital. Having security is equivalent A byproduct of security is privacy. Privacy is very important. People not knowing, is it is essential, because people knowing too much of your business is going to be a definite deficit to you. When people don't know, you have more room to move around. You have more room to mold your image into whatever you need it for. Because when people feel like say, them know you, it's going hard to be changed their mind about whatever, especially when it's negative. People like to hold on to negative. People might talk about all this, talk about positive, this way, and laws attractiveness. No, but fuck that, people don't believe in is just talking points. It's just talking points. It's just talking points. And sometimes people use these things as indoctrination to manipulate other people to stay in a certain way that's exploitable for them. They want you to close your eyes to something that is very critical. So then try to make you, they will twist the context of what or the value of what the context of what was being orientated in this doctrine or this philosophy, for now manipulate you to be think a certain way and have a certain attitude that is going to be exploitable for them. They want you to live into a la land. They want you to go to Neverland, right? Because them is Peter Pan, and them a play the flute, They don't want you to see what's really going on. So them will have you living like a little 16-year-old boy for the whole of your, something their life as you know it. Because them stripping you of something where it's very crucial. And because you lost in the sauce, you not even really realize what's going on before you until it's too late. For me, I can't wait till it's too late. I could never wait until it's too late. I fought for my life, and I still lie down here before you. I maybe not so alright as I would like to, and not so comfortable as I would like to. But I'm still here. I'm still here. I still have the ability to, remain online and say stuff and make my commentary. Have the ability to eat. I come from so far. But I feel like I haven't made any real, how my enemies are always getting so much the best of me. And it's not even like I make them or anything that, it's just a cool world, and it just hurt me, say, it feel like, why it feel like why am I going through not being acknowledged, but I going through, it feel as if I going through worse than majority people in the world, it's just not being acknowledged. That's how it feel to me. And a lot of people belittle it, and, even as an adult, how many times people belittle me and this and that and try to, coming right now, I still feel even more than what I felt like 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Like, I feel like I never fully understand what I was going through. And that's the only reason why I never felt as bad as I supposed to feel. Lucky enough that, ignorance can be bliss. Because if I did know or I did understand and did feel helpless and did feel, 'cause at one point of time, I never felt like I could have do certain things that was out of my my description. I never felt like I could have do it. You know, I just was into books, you know, into doing school. I wasn't out to go out. It's not say I wouldn't feel incompetent or I just wouldn't do it because that's not me. I just wouldn't feel comfortable in an environment like this because people different. And you know, certain people I would go out and deal with now, but then I just wouldn't want to deal with them. I wouldn't want to deal with them. I wouldn't want to deal with anybody who give me a pedophile feel vibes or homosexual vibes. I wouldn't want to deal with anybody who moving like a predator. I wouldn't want to deal with people who I see well we're cool with me, but them not. They do they do a lot of misdeeds. You know, I never take liking to that. You know, but now I have to put aside say I put all of them stuff in the bin. Well, certain stuff it just depends on circumstance. You see me? But you know, anything that I can use as a stepping stone, I just seen say as God put it right there for me to step on it and I can't miss the opportunity. You know, I can't talk about how me not take this work because how them enslaving people in Africa. Some ridiculous shit where them we do for make black people don't work or some shit. You know, me can't afford not to have no job. I'm not making no stupid decision like that. Put people who would probably cannibalize me or do harm to me before me before me and they don't give a fuck about me. That don't make any sense. They don't even know some exist. The only reason cause word of mouth. I don't even truly know if what they're telling me is even accurate. And me for go sacrifice, make a big sacrifice. For what? Not even God, people doing these things don't even really care about even God much less. So why would I allow the opportunity to slip over? Don't make no sense to me. The amount of beating me get and all them stuff there. Where were these people? Where were these people? And then nobody never make no sacrifice like that for me. So it's just only fear. I can't follow more than the laws of equivalent exchange. If God did want me for that, it would have made me feel compelled. It would have made do stuff to make me feel compelled or something like that, you know. It would have make me feel like that way. It would have made me have an experience to feel that way, you know. That's how I feel. I'm not saying all a woman go through is God's fault. He wasn't there. I'm just saying the cruelty of man is just exponentially great that, you know, even miracles, that is like they're trying to defy God or them are go against God or something. You know what I mean? Where miracles, them are making miracles seem like insignificant. You know, but it's really been a miracle why I'm still here today. If you ask me if I would go through, if I was to make it out, would I go through it again if I come out successful? I highly doubt. Wherever, whatever position I'm in, whether high or decent, I don't think I would want to go through all of these things again. Because what this have made me into, it has turned me into somebody I didn't even want to become in the first place. an addict. No, one point of time I was an alcoholic until, I wasn't, the alcohol wasn't rubbing right with me. Then financially, it wasn't, it wasn't helping me to buy a beer or even a floss out here. It's exponentially more than like in the States or anything. And then, it just every morning I just would feel fucked up, worse than I was when I wasn't drinking. I would just feel destroyed on the inside. It just heighten everything even more. And the stuff it didn't heighten, it just add certain effects to make me even feel worse. So I had to put down that because it wasn't really helping me in any way. I didn't have no resources to fund this. Now it came to weed. Weed wasn't enough. Started using tobacco or grabber. And it just had my hook onto it for the longest while. I just constantly smoke weed every day whenever I can. And it helped me sleep at night time. I have problems sleeping. I'll just be up all night, and I have no control over it. Even if I'm not tired and exhausted and my eyes them are closed, I just cannot sleep. I just can't sleep because the pain just keep on going, and then I don't know what is to happen next. I don't really get no break. For 25 years, I don't really get any break. I'd like to just get out of this. Get out of this. A lot of people, strangers, I come on the internet and, I really hurt and stings, and it's always people. I know, say you people are black people, because you can tell by the way I wanna talk. Because white people now do them fuck with they wanna do, or say them fuck with it. If anything, they just don't watch it. It's just black people that say go out of them way and watch things where they don't like to hear, and want to cuss you about it and tell you them opinions. And everybody else just minding them own fucking business. You see me? I know say Bunny say me saying all of this, instead of take the time to understand my pain or grief, all of them would just come if they even come to watch it. I guess nobody now come to watch my shit. Probably in the next 50 years or whatever. Hopefully not. Hopefully I find the right help. I just can't help expressing myself how I feel, I just can't help it. I hide it for so many years, not this. But it's when I come to the real realization, say, black people is the problem. I went through history. I went through all sorts of stuff, all of these things. But I'm just tired now. I'm just tired of wondering what going to happen to me, what going to happen for me, what going to happen for me. I just want to be in control of my life. I don't want to be emasculated anymore. I don't want to disempower myself. I don't want to believe in this stuff anymore. But I hold, I try to hold the faith. I try to do stuff to keep me forward. I hold the faith, and I keep, my aunties them sent me like a rosemary train. So, I just pray and keep the faith. Cause if there's a way, there must be a will. If there's a way, there must be a will. Cause I've been here doing it for this long, and I start finding out stuff and figuring out stuff and knowing how to move and operate and picking up a lot of craft and stuff like that. You know, people would say, why I don't create a YouTube platform or stuff like that. Cause I don't have my faculty straight like that. I don't have my faculty straight. I accumulated a lot of stuff over the years, and like I said, I don't have my faculty straight enough for to do anything online and then hope for the best. No, no, I really need to start from the ground up. I just want some form of understanding. I want more than understanding. I want recourse. I want people to be punished. I want stuff like that happen. I want somebody of great significance that cherish benevolence, or work at a benevolent capacity now to come now and put the hammer, bring the gavel down. You see me? Cause this is why it need to be done. I cannot take any action. Definitely because things are, I see, cause all these people go out of them way to even try and even deceive God. But I still holding on with God. Cause I see where God really, I know in the past I've said I wonder if God is really for me or really even like me or. But I always intertwine what people's behavior with the acts of God. And I think that God have nothing to do with people's behavior to a certain extent. God can bring people in your life, but him don't have no control over whether them good or whether them bad. Him just knows him bring them in your life and they had a certain task to complete, whatever they do. And sometimes I feel like God does give you the best out of the worst. Him just a work with what him have, the tools what him have at him disable. This is at his reach, right? Whatever tools him have at him reach, him have to use it. If him have a sledgehammer, right, and a nail, and him need the board, so him go have to use the sledgehammer. That's the only tool there where can put in that action for knock. You see me, because the sledgehammer now might be too much for the job, right? But it's the only thing there. And he never had no control because he gave us all free will for this tool now to decide that it come now. This dangerous, malicious, wicked sledgehammer. You see me, we're going must have the probability of destroying the nail and make the nail. You see me? But him come and do his work as the craftsman of the universe. I don't know if that sounds ridiculously crazy all ago. But I'm just tired. I'm probably going to end this live now.